Don't worry, layman's terms will also be provided. But first, the short geeky definition of quantum entanglement, also termed spooky action at a distance by Einstein. It's a physical phenomenon that occurs when pairs or groups of particles are generated, or interact in ways such that the quantum state of each particle cannot be described independently. Instead, a quantum state may be given for the system as a whole. Recent experiments have measured entangled particles within less than 1/100% of the light travel time between them. According to quantum theory, the effect of measurement happens instantly. In layman's terms, anything happening to one intensified entangled particle instantly happens to another particle no matter what the distance. If you had an entangled particle in Mexico and one in India, and you did something to the particle in Mexico, you would instantly see the results in the entangled particle in India. This occurs even faster than light. Again, in layman's terms, this mysterious underlying force is the result of a special non-physical connection between the particles. The connection between the particles exists via the quantum realm, etheric realm, heavenly realm, or any other name you would like to assign to the non-physical realm. In March 2015, scientists at MIT were able to intensify the entanglement between 3,000 atoms, enabling further experiments to be conducted. It stands to reason that if all known matter in the universe originated from one energy source, also known as God's Big Bang, then all particles would exhibit the qualities of quantum entanglement, but the measured intensity would be less, and thus considered subtle quantum entanglement. The subtle quantum entanglement connects all subatomic particles in the entire universe to every other particle in the universe. Let's say that the red circles represent subatomic particles, and the yellow lines are the entangled connections to each other. Each red subatomic particle would be directly connected to all other subatomic particles in the universe. Here's another visual example. Each ball represents a different kind of subatomic particle, and the grid extending from them represents a non-physical connection that spreads out in all directions within space-time. Imagine subtle quantum entanglement as a single universal song of soft background music, and each different subatomic particle in the universe adds a note to this single elegant song that permeates all of space-time. And since it's everywhere, all the time, it mostly goes unnoticed by anyone. This is the same legendary Om sound heard by advanced mystics. And since the song of the universe is fourth dimensional, the Om song would appear more like this, sort of like a pyramidal spider web. Now picture if you're a scientist and you would like to detect part of the subtle song of the universe, you would have to intensify a few of the notes so that you can hear them distinctly from all the rest. Much like turning up the volume on one instrument. It stands to reason that if all things are entangled and DNA actually originated from a non-physical source, then DNA, and thus things containing DNA, would have an intensified connection to the non-physical realm. This absolutely explains in scientific terms how things like extrasensory perception, otherwise known as ESP, functions, as well as the military-controlled remote viewing process. If you haven't heard of controlled remote viewing, also known as CRV, it was a successful process created by the Defense Intelligence Agency and SRI International to investigate the potential for psychic phenomenon in military and domestic applications. This primarily involved remote viewing, a proven process to psychically see events, sights, or information from a great distance. The CRV project, codenamed Stargate, was run by Lieutenant Skip Atwater, who later became president of Monroe Institute. Quantum entanglement and the origins of DNA, as explained in the first video in the series, would also account for the survival of anything containing DNA once it has physically died. It also scientifically explains and proves how ghosts and other non-physical intelligence exist. Although no one else has publicly made the following connections, Daily Strange News will. The communication to the non-physical realm would be much more feasible if DNA were used as part of the process to create a device. This would also explain why non-physical beings require the use of a psychic medium's body in order to communicate. Although with the knowledge that DNA is the primary key to all this, a device can be developed to utilize both technology and DNA in order to create a method for non-physical beings to precisely interact with physical beings and vice versa. Although you might be surprised that something like this has already been done and will be discussed in part 3 of this series. Remember to subscribe to this channel for free and tune in tomorrow for more daily strange news. Don't forget to support our sponsors. Take care and God bless.